Jeez, man. Mm-hmm.
Sure.
All right, well, guys, we are 7 minutes away from Silksong special announcement. The long-awaited special announcement. Pretty excited about this. It's been a while since we've seen any Silksong news. Don't they have a... I heard that the announcement was going to be like a really short announcement, so that's a bit of a bummer. But if it actually ends up not being true, we get like maybe like a 5 minute or something. That's gonna be pretty beefy. Not really expecting anything from these guys in terms of like how long the video is gonna be. At the minimum, I think we all can say that we really expect at least a release date for Silksong, so we know exactly when it's gonna come out. Anything after that is cherry on top for me. Although a lot of people probably would want to see way more than that, considering that they've been pretty silent about this game for quite some time. So I can understand that position. And honestly, the more the merrier. I actually want to see more. I want to see what they actually have to offer. So give us all of it. All I want to see is a Hornet Spin. Hey, what's up, Ken? Good to see you. All I want to see is Hornet Spin. And Before anything happens, we got like 5 minutes, right? I think it's fair for me to run an ad. Let's see if I can do that. I'll run an ad right now. Before anything happens. So I don't know if I should run an ad before running a remove auto ad. Hold on. Running in, remove the auto ad. But yeah, for how long will remove the auto ad? That's my question. It's 4 minutes left. I'm gonna run the ad now. In that way, when the ad is done, then nobody will have any ads. Yeah. So long as that, so it says ad in progress 9 minutes. I don't really like that. I'm guessing it's running an 1 minute ad to everybody for the next 8 minutes. Now that I think about it, I shouldn't have done that then. I actually thought there was like, it's running a 1 minute and 30-second ad right now, and it stops in 1 minute and 30 seconds. Alright, whatever. Hopefully it's not too bad for anybody who comes in, which I do apologize. Should have thought about that a little bit better. But I'll try to snooze any other ads that comes in. Good to see you again. Ken, are you excited? Are you excited? Three minutes, chat. 3 minutes. Chat, I'm still gonna dig into this game when it comes out. I'm just letting you guys know. You ever played normal Hollow Knight? Hollow Knight. It's a Metroidvania. It's a Metroidvania to its core, but it's more. It's really good in every aspect. It's a bit of a more challenging Metroidvania than normal, but not really too leaning on the challenging aspect side. It's more of like, you know, the battles that you win, you actually feel like you definitely deserve them, which is really nice. But the world is pretty, the music is great, the bosses are cool, the characters are memorable. A lot about the Hollow Knight is really good at a very affordable price, which is really crazy considering how much DLC they put out, and it's free DLC. I honestly recommend you try Hollow Knight if you really want to. The game is just littered with a lot of content for cheap, you know, like $20. I've seen it way lower than that. It's really good. The thing is that they were actually going to release a DLC where you can play as one of the Hollow Knight's iconic characters, which is Hornet. But at some point in the development, they realized that they can actually turn that DLC into its own game, and this is what we got right now, which is Hollow Knight Silksong. And here we will be able to play as Hornet, which is you can see a lot of people spamming Shaw in the chat right here. That's because that's what she says when she's fighting you, because she becomes the boss that you fight, but as time passes, she becomes your ally in stopping whatever, you know, entity is trying to destroy the world that they're living in. And so yeah, people really like Hornet a lot. They wanted to see a DLC where you can play as Hornet, and say, you know what, let's just turn it into its own game, no DLC, and let's just expand on the world of Hornet. And we're getting that. And a lot of people are hoping that this game is actually good because the quality of the first game was actually amazing. So this one might be in the same area. Anyways, it's about to happen, chat. It's at 60 seconds, but we got like 10 seconds left or something like that. I don't know if I want to keep chat. I kind of want to keep chat, but in all honesty, I want to keep the chat on. Premiere will begin shortly. All right. Chat paused. Where did it post? The entire chat post. Were you still reloading? Climate Berry viewers. Oh, I couldn't read that. What the hell was that? It was something to do with Shaw. Premiere will begin shortly. The chat just immediately disappeared. What happened? 241,000 people waiting. Oh, there it is. Here we go. Where's the chat? Hold on, let me reload. Let me reload. I don't see a chat. Oh, it says something about auto summary, right? Wait, hold on. Let me, hold on. I need to see that. I need to see that. This is auto-generated experiment. Quality may vary. Viewers in the chat are excitingly spamming Shaw, seemingly anticipating something about to happen in 60 seconds. Many viewers are indicating that they were present at this moment. Okay. Well, if no chat, then I guess I have no reason to just keep it in, right? So let's just put it in full. Hey, Miley, good afternoon. Good to see you. Chat, my sister actually is bringing me food. You imagine my sister comes in and it's like at the moment that I'm about to see this? Oof. That can actually happen, by the way. It's probably... It is working on your end? No, are you talking about the chat in this video? Or are you talking about the chat on your on my stream? I'm talking about the one in the video. They spam like crazy? What the hell? Why am I not getting... So that's unreadable? I want that. Shut up. Oh, there it is. We're back. We're so back, chat. We are so back. Here we go. At the experiment, if there's spam Ooh, okay. Team Cherry. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at the background, dude. It's so beautiful. You can swim? Classic. You can do it in Hollow Knight. Sent to the peak of a haunted kingdom. Haunted kingdom. Okay, you can go up. Nice. Map is back. Lethal acrobatic action. Yes. Oh. Yes. Skill, baby. Dude, I'm gonna have so much fun with this game. Oof. I'm gonna have so much fun with this game. This game is I think this is my peak. In just a movement. Best handcrafted world. $200 ferocious what? Bosses? 40 legendary bosses? Man, that looked cool. Restore a Kingdom's Hope. Oh, you can ride? Alright, that's good, that's good, that's good. That's good, that's good, that's good. 40 legendary bosses. September 4th. Chat. It's in 2 weeks. It's in 2 weeks. No, chat. I mean, I have mixed feelings. I don't even know how to feel about this. It's in 2 weeks. I don't even have time to prepare for anything. Like, I'm done with the event, which, by the way, I'm having an event, charity event, if you guys don't know, in SCG events. I'm having an event from the 29th to the 30th that my event that I'm hosting. And then 4 days after that comes Silksong. I literally have no time at all. You know the craziest thing is actually gonna come in the worst month for me. Yeah, it's coming in the worst month for me. Now we're hoping that nothing happens, but anybody who lives in Puerto Rico understands that the hottest months when it comes to the hurricane season, it's on September. September is peak. Shit can go down in September. Hopefully this year it goes the same as every other year, nothing bad happens, but it's like the worst month for me to actually go for it. That's crazy, dude. So yeah, Cat, September's in 2 weeks, dude. Basically. Oh, and I'm gonna be working. Actually, I'm not gonna be working. But I'm gonna be working on Friday. What can I do? Maybe I could change the work. Put it on the same day the game releases, and then I'll have the rest of the day for me. This is gonna be tough, chat. This is gonna be tough. I really have no time. I've had no time to like prepare for this. I had no time to prepare for this. Let's look at this. Best thing we can do is actually like scout a little bit and see what we can find here. Great stuff, dude. September 4. I think it said like over 200 bosses and 40 legendary bosses. That's a shit ton of content, by the way. A lot of content and bosses alone. Crazy. I don't know exactly how many bosses. We'll check that out again, because I don't know if it really meant 200 bosses. Let's look for it. Let's look real quick, just to make sure that I wasn't like seeing the wrong thing. I think it's yeah. Battle over. Yeah. Wait, what the hell? Battle over 200 ferocious foes. Oh, foes, not bosses. Okay, so 40 legendary bosses. We're getting 40 bosses. How many bosses did Hollow Knight has? How many bosses in Hollow Knight? DLC and everything. Hollow Knight has 47 bosses when including all variations and South encounter, according to the Hollow Knight wiki. And this number does not include the 2 fake out bosses that are not true encounters. Some bosses have also multiple encounters variations within the game, such as the Coliseum of Fools. Yeah, so in the Coliseum of Fools. So we have a total around 47 to 50 bosses. This is 47, but let's just round it up to 50. Hollow Knight has 50 bosses, and I think this is including everything, yeah, this is all like including DLCs, if I'm not mistaken. Real quick here, so you guys can have a comparison of like this, right? These are all the bosses, and like it says here, what was it? Counting the variations, there are 47 bosses in the game, right? That number includes one joke boss that cannot be damaged, which is the Night Zone, obviously, right? 47 bosses, and like bosses like this includes DLC bosses, right? You can tell here by there's a little icon. Do you see here? This is the OT boss, and this is like the Hive DLC. We got that. We got Sly, obviously, because they came in and paint Master Shia. This is the Grim DLC, so we got Grim here. Uh, so, and then we have the Hives DLC, right? I forgot the name of the DLC, the blue thingy. 47 with DLC, right? And we're already getting 40 out of the bank. Without the DLC, let's see how many is it. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh wait, I forgot. There's more. But do they even matter? Oh no, these are variations. These are variations. Actually, well, oh, Tiso. Wait, Tiso? Oh, Tiso's a big bubble. Big boss. Yeah, no. Okay, there we go. Okay, here we go. Absolute Radiance. Oh no, wait, this is the God. Wait, this is the Godmaster DLC. Yeah, Godmaster DLC. My bad. Yeah, so you got Absolute Radiance, Nightmare King Grim, Pure Vessel. Shoot, I forgot about this. Great Prince Sud. Yeah. So there's way less bosses, way less than 40 bosses, not including DLCs. And out of the bag, we're getting 40 legendary bosses. 40 bosses. Can you like stop doing that, dude? I would appreciate it. Let me just reload this real quick, chat. There you go. Let's see. Yeah, so we have 40 bosses as a starting point, right? I don't really know where they want to go with this after this, but if they go the same route they did with Hollow Knight when it comes to DLCs, you can expect a shit ton of DLCs plus I should tell the DLCs for the price of nothing. I don't really know if that's gonna be the case because I don't know where they stand as a studio right now, and who's their publisher, what their publisher is dealing with. But it kind of shows that these guys been given creative freedom if they do have a publisher with them pushing them. Yeah, over 40 boss. Could be 49. No, it's not gonna be 49. That's I know the word the word usage here. If it was 49, if it was 49, there would be over 49 bosses. I mean 45 bosses. Why not 69? Well, I could be 69, you know? It could be 69. Give me a second, be right back. Sorry, chat. Mr. brought food to me. Brought food to me. Something yay! It's real, dude. It is real, man. Dude, 2 weeks, man. 2 weeks, dude. I can't even breathe, dude. I have the SCG event that's gonna happen on August 29th. So it's like next week. I got the event, and then once the event is over, 4 days later, this thing comes in. Can't catch a break, dude. Oh, you were hoping for a shadow drop? Dude, no, shadow drop will be, it will be over for me, dude. It will be over for me. I'm gonna see. I hope I can I could like separate an entire week for me, dude. Because I really want to play this game. Looking forward to it, dude. Over 40 bosses, it's nuts. Because I think Hollow Knight opened with way less. So we have a ton of content in this game. Forget how many HK had. So I actually searched and it says 47, including variations. And there's a couple of variations. So we definitely have under 40. Right? So like these are the boss variants. Not talking about, so like pre-DLC, we have way less, right? Because it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 12 less bosses from the DLCs than what it say here, right? So we're seeing at like 35 bosses around there at release. So yeah, there's a lot of content, dude. Right, and then 200. I don't know what it meant, like 200 foes. I'm guessing like enemy types. Battle over 200 ferocious foes. Oh, so like okay. I know what this means. This is like this is not like boss fights, but it's more like you're fighting elites and stuff like that. I'm guessing, which is pretty cool. I actually like that. You know, a lot of interesting encounters. We might fight enemies that like foes that turn into allies and stuff. That's pretty good. Hoping for a boss rush. Oh yeah. Sick run to do back to back. Have you done P5 or not? Yeah, P5 a run back like a boss rush of it will be pretty sick. I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be down for that. 100%. You already know me. I'm looking forward to finishing the game and going straight into the fray. And hoping how it goes. Oh, what the hell? No. It's gonna be interesting, dude. It's really gonna be interesting. I saw the movement and everything, dude. This game I vibe with this game. The way the movement and everything, I completely vibe with it. This is my type of game. Looking forward to it. Got down to 10 hits. Wanted to go back to it one day. Now that success coming, probably a good time. The thing is, dude, you don't have much time. I mean, you could probably pull it off. If you got a PB10, getting back to it wouldn't cost you that much. If you like hard grind it, you'll probably make it. You'll probably make it. Because we basically have literally 2 weeks. Literally 2 weeks. It's nice to reading the article about it. There was no management issues, no struggles, just a small team making a stupidly big game. Great, dude. Heck yeah, dude. That's a feels good. That's a feels good, dude. Nothing worse than to play a game that, you know, developers didn't have fun. working on, and put a lot of the time. Nothing good than playing a game by gamers for gamers, dude. And we let them cook. They've been cooking for years. They've been cooking for years, and honestly, the wait might be worth it. The wait might be worth it. I actually thought my worry was financial struggles. That's where my worry was, because health could definitely be a big issue, but sometimes what could end up happening is the developer gets a substantial amount of money, but they don't know how to manage it, and they end up screwed. And so now they don't have the resources to be able to do a really good sequel. And my concern, considering how long it took them to actually say anything, was like they're just really low on budget, and they mismanaged the money, right? But it appears like it was not the case. They just really wanted to be silent on this whole thing and just make a really good game. And I feel like they're gonna deliver, dude. Like, it's just what's the name? I forgot the name of this. The background. I forgot. There's a name for that. For that thingy. What is the name for that? Like moving backgrounds and the art of it. What was it? Oh, the parallax scrolling. Yeah, the parallax scrolling. Thank you. Yeah. Dude, the parallax scrolling in this game is phenomenal. Phenomenal. What I think one of these one of these. Yeah. So look at this, dude. Look at that, dude. Look at that. That is amazing. Look at the parallax scrolling in this and that one, dude. Holy. Look at the depth in that one, dude. Makes the world seem so big, despite just playing in a 2D plane, right? If you get the chance, check out the Blooming article on it. It goes over everything. Oh, can you link it? Links are good. You can link it if you want to. Dude, no, this game is something else, dude. The art direction. They really, you can tell they really had budget this time to just do something crazy, right? Ugh. Yeah, no worries. No big deal. I'll check it out in a bit. God damn it, dude! I hope my PC can run it smoothly, because I really want to get I really want to get lost in this game. It's so good that I'm gonna be in a position where, like, do I want to take my time, or do I really want to? I'm not gonna rush it, but yeah. There's stuff here to watch. I don't know if you actually gotta like pause and start looking at little things. Maybe you guys don't really want to get spoiled on some of these things, so you guys probably didn't fully pause anything. The acrobatic action is something that sells on me so well, dude, because I really like I like acrobatic sort of combat. Like, she has that sort of like this way, the way she drops after hitting something. That looks so cool. I doubt it's more technically challenging than the first game. I think at the highest level it's going to be difficult to know. At the casual level, it's definitely going to be more technically challenging. Right? The fact that they're telling you there's going to be like movement, the movement is more acrobatic. It just means that that it allows them to play around more with not only like grounded combat, but aerial combat as well. So it's gonna require the player to like know how to move in the air well. and and the usage of pogos, right? Yeah, the pogo animation is amazing. The pogo animation is sick, dude. But you got an air dash, classic pogo. Freaking love that pogo. That pogo looks pretty big. You got an air dash. Hollow Knight had an air dash. We got a pogo. Hollow Knight had a pogo. But you got this right here, right? So that's like a grapple, basically. I actually thought initially that the grapple was gonna be diagonal, and it kind of reminded me of like Castlevania games. I think they're kind of like that, if I'm not mistaken. Like they have tools that are like diagonal. But doesn't seem to be the case. Now here's something that I kind of am curious: is the grapple, how do I say this? Does the grapple has a 360 degree, or is it a direction, or is it like straight? Because here we can kind of tell that the enemy is leveled with the player. But on the next one, I think the player is slightly below the... Yeah, so you see how it goes up? It seems like it's just snapping into it. Right? It could be like it's just snapping into it, even if you're like holding straight right. I don't know. I don't really know. Oh, and then, yeah, so this, I actually saw this in I think one of the trailers like way back, and I don't think it's this specific portion here, but I did saw it in some other part, and this is what this is what basically told me that like there's gonna be combat is just not gonna be like 4 directions, like up, down, left, right. We're gonna have some diagonal shit, and this right here is what I mean, right? Pretty crazy. So Pogo's not like the classic Pogo's not the only thing we have. Now we have more options, and more options means developers can actually be more creative with how they want to do fights. Whether that's a good thing or bad thing, I don't really know. I think it's not gonna matter that much, to be honest. It might be just an extra tool that we can have to give players more options than anything. It does say that it does allow them to be a bit more flexible with their design choices in terms of the enemy and combat, but I don't think it's gonna be that big of a I don't think they're gonna enforce you to use a sort of pogo for certain attacks. I mean, maybe there might be, but I think it's pretty good. Is that a wall run? It went so fast and I couldn't really tell. Do we have wall? I wouldn't be surprised if we actually got wall run. Also, yeah, no, there's so many crazy movement options. That's an uppercut. We might have a wall run. I may be wrong, but we also have a ledge grab, right? Diagonal pogos, normal pogos, dashes, grapples, ledge grabs, wall runs potentially. Uppercuts go up in the air, like you don't even have to jump about it, right? Goes for the pogo, hits. Yeah, that's crazy, dude. That was a diagonal like a downward kick or a downward attack. Diagonally downward. Yeah, dude, combat looks sick, dude. It has a lot of stuff. Alice has a lot of stuff. Let's see this. Bright. Jeez. Hello? Huh. This was a bit of a lengthy interview. Why Silksong took 7 years to make. The highly anticipated indie game has been in production for so long that it's become an internet meme, which is true. Hi everyone, and welcome to a special edition of Game On, about a very special edition of Game On. Okay, a very special game that we'll be playing quite soon. Game On. That's a section of. Oh, Game On news later. Okay. The wait is over. It's surreal to write, but it's true. Silksong will be out on September 4. Okay, after 6 years of near total silence from the developers and enough feverish anticipation to make it the most wish-listed game on Steam, the sequel to the indie hit Hollow Knight is releasing in 2 weeks. Jeez. Team Cherry, the small team behind both games, announced the news Thursday in a trailer. Why did it take long? Often such protracted development cycles are caused by mismanagement and results in painful burnout among the staff. But speaking to me last week on a video call from their office in Adelaide, Australia, Team Cherry co-founder Eric Gibson and William Pellan said that making Silksong has become nothing but a joyful process. Let's go, dude. I'm really happy for that, dude. I'm really happy for that. When I usually you can tell when the process is like really good, like really like fun for the developer, because you can see that when they're designing, when you play the game, they just didn't design the game to just play based on like the goal. They just made a game that they felt like they would enjoy playing. Super Metroid is a really good game when it that represents that deeply. If you guys never played Super Metroid, dude, goddamn play that goddamn game. That game is amazing. That game holds secrets that you don't really know until like way later, and they find ways to teach you how to do stuff in the game later on that makes the second playthrough very different. Because in the first playthrough, when you don't know how to do some of the advanced tech like bomb jumping, wall jumping, shine sparking, those kind of things, you really just play the game as intended, right? Running, there's an entire room where if you don't know how to run, you don't get past it, and a lot of people get stuck in there. And the cool thing about it is like you can play the entire game without knowing any of these techs except running. Running is the only thing, and they actually like sort of wall you into like really learning how to run. But the rest is optional. The rest is optional. No, I'm talking about Super Metroid. And once you beat the entire game, you're done, right? But if you pay attention to some of the areas where you find animals that teach you how to do some of these techs, and you play the game again, you realize that you can actually change the order in which you do the bosses. And it's just a completely different gameplay. I mean, playthrough, right? Like, you don't really have to go the intended route. Now you can just break the game however you want it to. And bomb jumping, it shows you if you just leave the title screen untouched. It shows you bomb jumping. And then there's 2 rooms with animals that actually teaches you how to do shine sparking and how to do wall jumping. So that's a sign of a pretty good of the fact that the developers just had a really good time developing a game, right? The game that they feel like they will enjoy playing because it has a lot of secrets and stuff, right? And I feel like Silksong is leaning on that direction. And based on the content that we see, it's evident that this is gonna be a great game. What I'm really hoping is to find like secrets and stuff that they kind of placed in for maybe like memes or references or anything of the like, because I really want to see stuff like that. I want to see developers just throwing their own little twist in the game, right? Instead of just creating Silksong with the idea of like making it big. Anyways, enough talking. We've been having fun, Gibson says. This whole thing is just a vehicle for creativity anyway. It's nice to make fun things. The lengthy production wasn't the result of development challenges or obstacles, they said. They just needed all these years to ensure that Silksong was exactly the game they wanted to make. Good for me, dude. I mean, good for them, and good for us. It was never stuck or anything, Gibson said. It was always progressing. It's just the case that we're a small team, and games take a lot of time. There wasn't any big controversial moments behind it. The Silksong saga started in 2017, when Team Cherry released Hollow Knight, an action platformer set in vast world full of cartoon bugs. A Switch version released the following year added to the momentum. By the end of 2018, millions of fans were raving about the 8's polished gameplay, distinct style, and impeccable vibes. As of today, the game has sold 50 million copies. Team Cherry told me. Okay, I thought it was like doing a little introduction. Like it kind of is an introduction, making it one of the most successful independent video games ever. I mean, 50 million copies is a shit ton of copies. I mean, the game speaks for itself. It's just a really good game. Initially, Gibson and Palin had planned to release an expansion pack revolving around Hornet. Yeah, this is what I was talking about to you, Ken. That the whole like Hornet DLC situation. Let's keep on reading. Around Hornet, one of his key characters. But in February 2019, they announced that the expansion had grown too big and will instead become a full-fledged sequel titled Silksong. Hollow Knight has been massive, and their plan at the outset was to build a smaller world for Silksong to ensure that the game felt just as deep. They implemented an elaborate quest system that will offer the players reasons to backtrack and revisit old locations. That is cool, because the thing about Metroidvanias is that backtracking is a thing. Always been, always has been, always will be. Maybe in the future, somebody might implement something that is like you don't really need to backtrack. I mean, there's some that really don't have backtracking because they don't put any secrets or anything that you can go back and go like, oh, if I actually missile this door, now I can open it. Right? So there might be stuff like that. But a lot of the Metroidvanias that I play, they just have backtracking in some way. The fact that they're doubling down on just making sure that backtracking is really fun is what I want to see, because sometimes backtracking doesn't work for all Metroidvanias. It's like backtracking just for the sake of backtracking is just not that fun. In contrast to Hollow Knight, which had a single town full of shops and characters to meet, there will also be multiple towns, each serving as a hub for quests. Even at that point, we were recognizing that it was going to become another giant thing to rival the scale of Hollow Knight, or probably exceed it. I mean, the fact that they said exceeded makes me excited. And then because of how we work, obviously the world ended up being just as big or bigger, and the quest system existed. And the multiple towns existed. Suddenly, you end up 6-7 years later. Okay. So they're definitely making things. They're expanding as much as they can on multiple systems that they got implemented in the game. It all came down to their development style, which may have been too much fun. Gibson and Palin, who were joined by programmer Jack Vine, composer Chris Larkin. Hell yeah, Chris, get in there, brother. Give me some badass OSTs. And a few contractors who helped with programming and testing started off by designing the core gameplay for Hornet, the game's slick protagonist. From there, it was easy to implement and test out new ideas, even as the game grew bigger. We were very fortunate that we have a development method that is so enjoyable, Gibson said. Not exactly sure how we stumbled into that. Everything comes together quickly. You can see the results fast. Ideas turned into something that existed in the game. Ideas turned into something that existed in the game almost immediately before our eyes. And that's very satisfying. And that allows you to go off on those tangents and meet weird characters because someone's offhandedly mentioned a weird character as an idea. Wait, shit, I'm really bad at reading. Offhandedly mention a weird character as an idea, and the other person's laugh, and that's enough. Okay. I see where they're going with that. You're always working on a new idea, new item, new area, new boss, Palin said. That stuff is so nice. It's for the sake of just completing the game that we're stopping. We could have kept going. Wait, didn't they have like the similar issue with Hollow Knight? It's like we could have kept going, but we had to stop. Because I remember there was a lava area that they wanted to do for a DLC, and they said no more. I think it was the DLC where you got the Shadow Dash. Actually, was that a DLC? There was something that they wanted to add, and they said, you know what, no more. We can't really continue. It's good to see developers are enjoying the creative process, like trying to make games. It's like they want to keep making stuff, but they gotta stop. Hey, and that's a good sign that they actually don't seem to be on a path of stopping when it comes to like making games. Like if Silksong actually does well and they feel like doing something else, they could they've set themselves in a position where they can make games off characters of existing games. Heck, I would have freaking loved to see a Hollow Knight of Tiso. Personally, Tiso is such a great character. And I would love to see that. But I think Tiso does die in Hollow Knight, right? Or does Tiso? No, wait, it's not Tiso. My bad. No, not Tiso. I apologize. Not Tiso, not Tiso. It's the other guy. The guy that gives you the mask when you're going to fight Umu. That guy. I would love to see a Hollow Knight game out of that guy. Let's see. The downside of this methodology was that it could have lasted forever. I remember at some point, I just had to stop sketching because I want everything I'm drawing here has to end up in the game. That's a cool idea. That's in. That's a cool idea. That's okay. Yeah, that's a cool idea. That's cool. I'm getting lost in the sauce here, chat. I'm sorry. You realize if I don't stop drawing, this is going to take 15 years to finish. During the development of Hollow Knight, Gibson and Pelland frequently posted game updates and talked to players. At the end of 2019, Team Cherry posted one more update about Silksong, then went silent to much fans' dismay. Yeah, that was true. Wait, really? Hold on. 2019? It's been that long? Wait, really? 2019? Jesus, I thought it was like 21. Huh. It really has been that long. We felt like continued updates were just going to sour people on the whole thing. Because all we could really say is we're still working on it. Yeah, I could see that. That's pretty true. That's pretty true. I could see that. I mean, we could always say that there's always that middle ground where you can just find ways to let us know and tell us like, hey, we really want to make this a really good game, so we're gonna take our ass. We're gonna take our long ass time on this. But I get them. They wanted to be particularly cautious about avoiding spoilers. Much of the thrill of Hollow Knight came from accidentally stumbling upon secret passageways or breaking down walls to find hidden bugs. Silksong has plenty of its own secrets that they didn't want to detail before the release. Plus, they thought Silksong would be out much sooner. Yeah, that was long ass time. That's true. Instead of popping up and bugging people for the sake of it, it felt like our actual responsibility was just to work on the game. Probably at the time we thought we'd go quiet for a year or two, then the game will come out. In 2020, as COVID disrupted most of video game productions around the world, Adelaide was about to stave off the worst of the pandemic, going months without new cases, which allowed Gibson and Pelland to continue plugging along Silksong. Seems a little odd knowing that the rest of the world has such a dramatic and isolating period. Here we were going to cafes and having brunch. I mean, yeah, it's like like for a lot of people who actually really need to go out there. For developers, it's nice when you just have to stay in. So totally get that. Silksong briefly resurfaced in 2022 during the Xbox event, which promised that all the games shown will be out within a year. Oh yeah. So there it is. Yeah, it's 22. Yeah. So this is what I'm talking about. It wasn't 19. No, it wasn't 2019. Yeah. Because they did release something. Xbox doubled down on Twitter saying Hollow Knight sequel will be out before June 2023, which did not happen. At the time, they all thought it was true. We did generally believe that that was the case. There was a period of 2 or 3 years when I thought it was going to come out within a year. By the way, I want to say RIP for Clear Obscure. I'm not going to say RIP yet, I guess, but it's going to be a very uphill battle if this game actually does exceedingly well. Because this was a extremely high anticipated game. Clear Obscure came out of nowhere, just like Hollow Knight came out of nowhere when it came out back then. But this game, a lot of people were expecting, like, this game already has, kind of hard to be clear at the moment. It's kind of hard to be clear at the moment, but Silksong, it's basically the same issue with like GTA 6, where people were saying like, please, GTA 6 don't release on this year, because if you do release on this year, you're going to steal Clear Obscure's seat, right? And it's because Silksong a bit more 15 million copies is not, I wouldn't consider a niche game. But actually, no, wait, 50 million copies? Wait, hold on. How much? Yeah, no. 50 million copies, I wouldn't say is a niche game. How much was Monster Hunter? 9 million copies? If I'm not mistaken. So Monster Hunter is a bit niche as well. We could argue that Monster Hunter has a bit of a niche, but World actually sold really well. Like it was like the biggest breakthrough for Monster Hunter World, Monster Hunter itself, right? And they did extremely well. A lot of people play that shit. Please don't compare Monster Hunter. We're not comparing. I'm not comparing the type of games. I'm comparing the type of the sales, right? Regardless of what kind of genre, what type of game is. From no, I'm talking about Worlds. I'm not talking about Wilds. I'm not talking about Wilds. No Wilds. No. Wilds haven't. How I think Wilds didn't even reach. Did Wilds beat Rise in sales? No. We're not talking about the child nobody wanted. we're not talking about the child that nobody wants. No. No, apparently that game is actually being dig not 6 feet under, it's going 12 feet under. Apparently Wilds is it's bad. But anyways, I think Silksong has a really big shot at this, and Clear Obscure was just like an anomaly that it had a lot of promises and people thought they were not gonna deliver, and they did deliver. And it's actually one of the greatest games I ever played, RPG wise. And even when any considering all the other games that I played in my life, I think it's definitely in my top 10. But these developers delivered with Hollow Knight, and what we're seeing here, I mean, if the slice they showed us is the only good part of Silksong, then definitely not gonna be it. There's no chance. But I don't think that's gonna be the case. I think it's very likely that Silksong is just gonna do so well that is gonna be an uphill battle for Clear Obscure. Just because they already this is the sequel, right? Or not the sequel. This is just the second game. So it already has a fan base. And if it sold 50 million, imagine this one. Who knows? Capcom took shit with the game and took money and still haven't fixed the game. Apparently they're not doing well, dude. I've seen a couple videos and they're not doing well with that game. People are pissed. I don't even know why that game. It keeps coming up into the feed like news about it, and I'm like, wow, this game is still alive. And I really want to play it because it has Akuma in it, so I'm kind of looking forward to that game. I don't really know how bad is it. All I know is that the performance was really atrocious, which is what has delayed me from even touching it. Anyways, let's keep on reading, chat. I don't know how long we have. Oh, we have a lot. We haven't even reached the middle. We haven't reached the middle, and I got sandwich to eat. Let's see. Runs bad for you. I'm guessing worse for you. Oh damn! Really? If it runs bad for you, dude, then I have no choice, no chance. Probably the game doesn't even start for me. I have no chance if it doesn't work for you. Let's see where we at. Here it is. At the time, they all thought it was true. We generally believe that was the case, Balance said. That there was a period of 2 to 3 years and we thought it was going to come out within a year. But the game kept growing. Silksong has more elaborate bosses than Hollow Knight. Elaborate bosses, that's interesting. So they're kind of making bosses a bit more complex, which I like. More gameplay systems and more interactivity. Hell yeah. Gives Impelin wanted objects in the world to react to Hornet's various tools, which require a ton of drawing and animations to work. I think we're always underestimating the amount of time and effort it'll take us to achieve things. It's also that problem where, because we're having fun doing it, it's not like it's taking longer. It's not like it's taking off longer. This is awful. We really need to get past the space. This is a very enjoyable space to be in. Let's perpetuate this with some more. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about, right? The whole thing of like we're creating and our ideas are like flowing to no end, and we want to make this particular part even better, over and over and over, right? And like I said, I felt that with Super Metroid. I really felt that like Super Metroid has so many really minute things that you don't really see at a first glance, but the more you sort of like, if you talk to people who actually know about the game, they'll tell you like really crazy things about Super Metroid that definitely shows you the developers were like really putting in time into the details. Like I forgot the name of it. There's something called Crystal Flash. If you guys ever played Super Metroid, when you are low in health, there is a secret trick that you can pull off that you only see it if you leave the menu untouched. So it shows like the little cutscenes. And it shows your character just like going into a pose like she's holding her knees in the air, and then she becomes like this giant orb and then goes back to normal. That's called Crystal Flash. And the way that thing works is that if you're low in health, you could trade your resources like missiles, super missiles, and power bombs for refilling your entire health pool. Right? So if you're in a really tough spot, you can just do that. And then you can continue going, right? It's like, oh, I have no place to save or anything. Like, you would think like, well, there's so many ways you can farm for health. You don't really need to do that. But it exists, right? Like farming for resources is not as bad as it is in the Metroid game, like in the first Metroid. It's actually pretty easy to farm for resources in Super Metroid, so you don't really need that. But they actually added it, right? It's like we did it because it's fun, you know. And that's the thing that I want to see here. It's like we just do things that might not be like you might not need it, but it's good that it's there, you know. And I like that. I like having options. I don't know. I hope this thing is just littered with secrets, dude. I hope that it's just a fun world where you can get lost and that there's a lot of stuff that you just don't know unless you play it over and over and over. To be honest, this is 2025. We will know all the secrets of this game in like first week. To be honest, it's not like the old days where you actually you need to watch like comic books or like Nintendo Power to know little things about a game that you would never find out unless you lived in a village with the gamers. All right. The longer development lasted, the more pressure Gibson and Pelin felt to ensure that everything was as fine-tuned as possible. They already spent 4 years on it. Why would they rush now? The more time spent polishing some parts, the more time they needed to apply it consistently across the rest. There's a level of finish that has to be met throughout the entire game, Pelin said. All the systems interact, all the hidden work that pops up later on is multiplicative. As you add stuff, the process of tying it all back together just increases. That's true. That's a lot of work. Throughout the development team Cherry remained tiny, which may have extended the production time, but also saved them from the slog of having to manage and delegate. We don't want to mess with the formula and then find out it's not fun. Yeah, that's true. The bigger the group, the more you have to manage. And I think it's more difficult to bounce off ideas because not everybody's gonna be in the same boat. So like if the smaller the team is like you have in a way you have a more creative freedom because you kind of want to introduce this thing and you don't have to wait for someone to say like I like it or I don't like it or we shouldn't really add it. It's more like if you want to add it, you just add it. If you really want to put the time into it. So it's really nice. It's like there's less friction between making decisions, which is really good. The smaller the team, the less friction, but it takes way more time to develop stuff, which is it's just the downside of things. But If time is not an issue, then just go balls deep, you know. Let's see. We don't want to mess with the formula and find out it's not fun. I used to manage teams in the past lives. I don't really want to do that ever again. So okay, so this person already did, has had experience. Staying small, also meant eschewing the production practices commonplace at many games development studios. What is Jira? Gibson said when I asked if they used the task management application. Oh, the software. Is the software. Bella said adding that they briefly used Trello before their account was deactivated because they didn't use it enough. Okay. I think I've used Trello in the past, but slightly. I believe. I'm not entirely sure. If it wasn't Trello, it was something else. But I know what they're talking about. Perhaps the biggest reason Silksong took so long was that Team Cherry had never had to worry about the one thing that keeps other independent developers awake at night. Money. Nice, dude. They did a good job with money management, I'm guessing. During production, Hollow Knight, the production of Hollow Knight, they stayed lean, sometimes living off leftover triangle split sandwiches that their office neighbor will bring them after meetings. My dad would sometimes pop up and give me $20. I'd be like, oh, I'm having coffee today. That's pretty sad, dude. I'm glad that they had these guys actually. I'm glad that these guys made it, dude. Trying to live off whatever you can find is just harsh. Thanks to their first game, massive financial success, Gibson and Pelin no longer have to scrunch leftovers. For Pelin, who has 2 kids and a third on the way, that's provided an inestimable, I never heard of that, inestimable peace of mind for Gibson. Peace of mind. For Gibson, who said he spends most of his time at the office, it hasn't changed much. I live in a very basic 2-bedroom apartment. Sometimes I think, what will be better is a 1-bedroom apartment, because then there's even less to maintain. That is true. The game has continued to generate revenue by reaching new players, perhaps in large part due to the Silksong buzz. When the studio announced Silksong in February 2018, Hollow Knight had sold 2.8 million copies. The game has sold another 12 million copies since then, allowing Team Cherry to keep working on the sequel indefinitely without having to worry about running out of funds. We were very lucky in that regard. I don't ever really think about it that much. Maybe that's the privilege of it. As years went on, the hype kept building. A Reddit forum dedicated to the game filled up with nonsensical blabber and made up tweets, which users called Silk Post, a variation on the expletive. Never heard of that word either. Meanwhile, chat sections for video games, live streams, and Nintendo Direct events were plagued with the same feral messages repeated over and over. Silksong when. By the way, there is a YouTube channel, if I'm not mistaken, that's been posting Silksong videos every single day, but it's more of like Silksong news, and it's like if there's news, then news pops in, and if there's no news, it just says like no news or something like that. This YouTube channel, if I'm not mistaken, has been trying to post Silksong stuff every single day. I'm guessing that channel is eating good today, based on that. Gibson and Pelin turn it all out, rarely going online. They said they never read comments on YouTube or Reddit, although occasionally friends or family will send them some of the funniest ones. It's nice that people are passionate about the game and that they obviously form their own strange, overexciting communities around it. If they really disconnected themselves from the community, in a way, I think that's a great thing, because they don't have to deal with the pressure of like, we really need to make this game good and make sure it satisfies a lot of people. Because the problem with that is that there's a big difference between making a game to satisfy an audience that already has expectations about you based on what you did in the past, over making a game that you really want to be in, regardless of what people think. And obviously they really want to make a great game. But Hollow Knight, the first game, which is Hollow Knight, was just that. It's like they really wanted to make a great game, right? They made a game that they would enjoy playing. There were no expectations because nobody knew who they were at the time. So what I wanted for Silksong was to grow under this sort of environment where there is no pressure being put onto them to actually do well. Instead, just do what you want to do, just like how you did with Hollow Knight, and the rest will happen. So if that's how they went about it, I'm really glad that they did. Because sometimes you will just watch the internet, and the community is great and all, but it could really put you in a bad position sometimes. Because you also second guess yourself, like, is what I'm doing good or is it bad? Instead of thinking like, do I like it? Do I not like it? Do I find it fun or not? You know? So, yeah. Feels like we're going to ruin their fun by releasing the game, Paula said. Once in a while, people will show up at Team Cherry office, sometimes with their children, perhaps hoping for a Willy Wonka type experience. Inevitably, they were disappointed by what they found instead. It's a grubby room with cardboard boxes. The walls remain the same dual avocado color that they were when Team Cherry moved in more than a decade ago. They never even put up art. They've been too busy making the game. Hey, fair. In early 2025, Gibson and Pelham began to see the finish line and started making plans to release the game in the fall. Players desperate for information devour every scrap of news, like the announcements that will be playable at the museum in September, hoping this might be the final year. Might finally be the year, which September is the months. Both Nintendo Co. and Microsoft Corp's Xbox said during live events this year that Silksong was planned for 2025, but fans were cautious. They'd been down this road before. Meanwhile, Team Cherry kept working. The shape of the game has been finalized for a while. The last year or two has been all about the details, adding small encounters, polishing everything, and tying it all together. I love that they did that. So they basically could have released 2 years ago, and they made the decision to not do that. There's enough light as it is right now. I don't need that extra light because of this. Okay. They're still working to finalize things until the last possible minute. As we spoke with Silksong a little more than 3 weeks out, I spotted a programmer, Jack Vine, in the background tweaking code for one of the game's console ports. Oh, so they're still working on things? Tweaking code for one of the game's console ports. Okay. Gibson and Pelham say they're happy that the game is finally coming out, and even happier that they will get to keep working on it. Okay, so there you go. Confirmed DLCs, I'm guessing, right? Which they still find enjoyable even after 7 years. They haven't burned out or shown any desire to take a break. Instead, they're already making big plans to add extra content to Silksong in the months and years to come. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. They put 7 years into a game, and they don't feel like they want to stop. That's great, dude. I'm all for it. You know what? I don't know if that's like what they're hinting here, but if they're hinting at the idea of like, oh, we'll keep working on the game, and it's like, if we want, we'll just add a couple secrets here and there on patches. I'm all for it, dude. It's like, I don't mind having this sort of moment of like, wait, this was not here before. What the hell is this? I don't mind having those moments, dude. You know, you keep adding if you want to. Let's see. Launching, it is obviously quite exciting. What comes after for us is equally as exciting. The most interesting thing now is what can we add to it next. We got a plan, admittedly. Some of the plans for that stuff are kind of ambitious as well, but hopefully we can achieve some of it. Stay tuned for 2032 to see how that turns out. Is that 7 years from now? Yeah, that is 7 years from now. That's funny. You know, all this said, chat, I think it's going to be a great game. And I don't think this needs to be asked, but I'll say it regardless. I just hope the performance of this game is good. That's all I'll say. The game looks pretty. The parallax looks much more, how do I say this? The parallax of the game that we saw in Silksong looks more vivid than Hollow Knight in some sections, right? Some parts we see some Hollow Knight stuff, but the parallax in some of these areas look very vivid, and that means more computing power. I believe. You know, I could be wrong, but that's what it sounds to me. And my concern is performance. You know, so I hope that they actually work pretty well on the coding side of things to make sure that the game runs as smoothly as possible. Because if performance is going to be an issue, it's actually going to impact Silksong, in my opinion. Now, I don't think the performance requirements for this game might be too big compared to some of the other games that exist in the space, or not in the space, not into these, but like overall. But it's gonna be a bummer if if performance will be becomes an issue, because one of the things about Hollow Knight in particular is that being a 2D game means that it's actually more accessible to people who actually don't have like really good PCs, right? Thankfully, this is going to release on console, so a lot of the casual audience that that plays console will have no issues, I'm guessing. But one of the big things about this is just like people who actually can't really afford to play like AAA games because of the it's a tall ask for some of the PCs for people who are like on low budget. Hollow Knight was just that perfect game, it just runs really well, right? And so I hope Silksong is still that, because probably the I wouldn't say there's gonna be a big portion of the fan base who's not gonna have like really good systems, but for a game like this, I would say that's a big part of the package. It's like beautiful game with a lot of content, and also it's like it's not too taxing on the PC. Why would it not run well? It's not super graphic heavy, but here's what I'll say. I have learned, right? If you guys know about the whole pirate software situation, there's been people actually touching the code on that game in particular, and I actually learned a little bit about not really like related to pirate software, but it was more of like as an example of like how things could go bad. It turns out that there was a little code in Pirate Software's game that it was badly coded to the point that it was very taxing on the CPU, if I'm not mistaken. And it's like the game of Pirate Software is basically Undertale. So it shouldn't be a game that is not graphically heavy, right? It's not super taxing, and honestly, it wasn't. But when they checked the code, it was doing a lot of processing, and what that led me to understand is that even if the game visually doesn't look like it's heavy, if the coding is not great, you can actually make a game like Silksong very have bad performance, right? And I think it's really easy to tell. I think one of the easiest things to think about is like this. It's like when a developer actually releases a game and it comes out as a buggy mess and it also has performance issues, one of the first things that they actually try to work on is let's make performance better, right? And this doesn't mean at the cost of graphical fidelity. They just need to work on the coding and find ways to have visuals not really use too many resources, right? So that's what I'm talking about, right? Somebody who knows how to code and integrate like visual stuff in a game without having to consume too many resources from the PC does a really good job when it comes to performance, right? That's something I didn't really thought about until recently with the whole Pirate Software situation, right? But that was an eye opener for me, dude. That made me realize that you can actually have a game with not too much like visual fidelity have performance issues just because the coding is not that great. And Hollow Knight was good, right? So I don't think I have any reason to doubt that they might have performance issues, but it's just prettier graphically. It looks even better. So it concerns me a little bit that without a doubt is going to ask a little bit more, which is fine because it's been 7 years already. But you never know. You never know. You don't think it will? I hope it doesn't, dude. I hope it doesn't. I honestly, seeing all their content and playing the games, I have no reason to doubt that. Yeah, it took 4 extra years on it. So, I mean, based on what you read, it took them 2 extra years to just tweak the game because the game was already playable. Like, it was ready 2 years. Basically, 2023, it was ready, but they want to take the extra 2 years to just make the game better, fix stuff here and there. So honestly, they did a really good job. If a lot of the time that they put in the last 2 years was on performance, then I have no doubt in my mind that this game is gonna do well, performance wise. I don't think I have a reason to doubt them. Again, like the art style in a way is very similar to Hollow Knight in some aspects. The parallax just looks a bit more. I don't want to say complex, but there's a little bit more. There's a little bit more, and I don't mind that as long as it doesn't really come at the expense of too much processing power. 2D games don't really suffer this much about this. It's like you don't really see 2D games actually having this much struggles when it comes to that. But after watching the whole situation and understanding how games work a little bit more, it's it's considering that AAA games have been not that great. Performance is something that you're gonna see me question no matter what type of game, no matter what type of if it's AA or AAA, indie, whatever. I'm always gonna question it. So I hope they do well. I really do. Yeah, I'm going to let's do something because I want to watch a bit of this. I don't really want to eat on camera. My sandwich is already cold, so I am going to put this here, and because I don't want to eat with my mouth full. I mean, I don't want to speak. You know what I mean? Hold on a second, chat. We're gonna put this in slow-mo. Right click and hit loop. So we're gonna talk about it, dude. Hold on, chat. Hold on to your horses. Okay, first off, we got benches. Benches are back. Boom! First few frames, what we got? Oh yeah, I know it's for the full video. What I'm saying is I don't know what your goal was for the loop, but there's no need to loop. I'm still here. So you can eat? Yeah. Oh yeah. So if that's what you thought, I thought the same thing. I'm not going anywhere. That said, though, if I actually mess up and I let it run fully, if I leave a loop, I'll have to press play again. So now hold on, there's too much to see. There's too much to see. Look at those little bugs, dude. Is there any game in Hollow Knight where something like this happens? There is, right? Actually, in the beginning. Well, in the beginning when you go into the green moss, right? Maybe. I mean, not green moss, the green area. Let me see that beautiful parallax, baby. Oops. Damn. Yeah, this looks smooth. Smooth as butter, dude. Yeah, you know what? You know what vibes I'm getting out of this game, dude? I'm getting Metroid vibes, dude. I'm getting Metroid Prime vibes. You guys ever played Metroid Prime? One of the things I freaking enjoyed about Metroid Primes, the first game particularly, was the biomes, dude. Oh, dude, landing on Talon 4, that music kicking in, raindrops. Right? It's a rainy day. Freaking come out of that ship, waterfall on the end. Ah, oh, dude. The environment, dude. The environment is something so important, dude. Look at that, dude. That looks sick. Lush green. Freaking bitch. This whole thing is alive. That's one of the things that I actually like about this game that I'm seeing. Most of Hollow Knight's areas were like the aftermath of whatever happened in that moment. Around that time. So you barely see life. Like, or not, I'm not talking about the enemies. I'm talking about more of like the villages and stuff. Like there were, but for example, the city didn't had really civilians living in it or anything. It was more of like enemies that probably were like affected by. I forgot the name of the. What's the name of that? The thing is, like here we're seeing townspeople, and I love that, dude. Townspeople. My guy mining. We got a fisherman. But that might be an enemy. That might be an enemy though. Let's see if it jumps. I mean, if it gets up. Yeah, that's an enemy. That's an enemy. That's an enemy. That's an enemy. 100%. But look at this. These are townspeople. Ah, damn, they nailing it. Guy with the mustache. Security on the left. Yo, that guy's a merchant, 100%. This guy right here, that guy's a merchant, 100%, dude. That's the face of of a goddamn merchant. You can see this thing in the back here. I'm very sure this guy's a merchant. And then this guy is the assistant. Ascend to the peak of a haunted kingdom. Okay, so the kingdom is haunted. Okay. So, my question is, in which point in time is Hornet going through this? Is it like as it's happening or after it has happened? Honestly, dude. Particles go crazy. Look at them particles, chat. Oh, wait! Wait a minute. Yeah, pretty much it, dude. I mean, not a one-to-one, but this is the content that I was talking to you guys that they actually wanted to continue on, but they said, you know what, we can't really go on. Like the style, right? The biome. You know what I mean? Like the biome and stuff. We're basically seeing it here. Right? Look at the art style. And then the place is in. I wouldn't be surprised if there's lava on the bottom. I wouldn't be surprised if this is like, you're crazy? Nah. I wouldn't be surprised if like this is the idea they kind of wanted to go with. I mean, if they took this and they went, you know what? We can actually try to reintroduce this idea into a Silksong. Obviously, not a one-to-one. It doesn't look this, you know, like if we look at it, like it's different, obviously. But it's more like I'm not really talking about what we're seeing. It's more like the idea they kind of wanted to bring forward, and it looks like they sort of did it with this one. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. This looks amazing, dude. Oh, they're reacting to Silksong. I mean, to Hornet. So this is like it's like a City of Tears kind of thing. You know, the weird thing is that it's not giving me. It's not giving me the vibes of like. Well, like left and right are both places, both ways you could go about. Like in City of Tears, the background in the art and everything, it just felt like, you know, going left and right was okay. You know, this one feels like there's something waiting for you on the right side that you should really go to. So I wonder what is this area? That's a big ass thing. What the hell was that, dude? It's a floating, big ass floating object. You can see there's something like up there, dude. It's like a bridge extension or something. Ah, the frame. Get back, get back, get back. Oh no. Oh no. What the hell am I doing? Let's look at the last frame, chat. Yeah. It might be like an extension of something. We'll check this out in a bit. Pretty cool. Oh, wow, dude. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Okay. So I could be wrong, but in Hollow Knight, I don't think in Hollow Knight there is a single NPC that is like moving around an area, like idling and then choosing to move and to some place or whatever. I don't think there's a single NPC that does that. Usually they're stuck in one spot and doing like an animation and then react to whenever you talk to them. Or you get to a certain point and they appear. They do the, you know, they do the animation, they cue in the animation and whatever. But here, I think this might be, I mean, I could be wrong, but this might be the first time that we actually see an NPC just roaming around. Because this guy's like flying down here and then just walking forward. So that's pretty cool. I don't think we had that in Hollow Knight. Although, is this like some sort of library or something? It looks like a place of knowledge, and I love it. This guy looks pretty cool, dude. It's like it feels like maybe, or not like some sort of library. It looks like a guild. Feels like a guild, right? Yeah. Look at this. We've seen this enemy a couple times, or not enemy. Maybe that wasn't an enemy actually. I don't know. We've seen this guy. Just this one dancing. Actually has the head of the statue here. The hat, same hat. So I wonder if it's worshipping something or it's like a religious group. But then we have this one over here. So like these could be warriors or maybe that's a guild. Anybody who doesn't want to get spoiled about these things, look away now. Or you can walk away. Because I'm gonna check them out. We can already see that there's actually we already see the currency. But there's something else that's just required. So what kind of extra currency is though? Okay, first one says a vicious stabbing trap. We can build it, just know it disturbs us. These devious implements you conceive to kill. So wait, we're gonna be able to place traps? That's interesting. Magma Bell also requires. Okay. This trinket is our own invention. It wars against the deadly lava and heat around these docks. The workers are used to request them off us. Now they've lost the mind to care. Oh, shoot. Chad, this is Varia. You get Varia in this game. For those who don't know anything about Baytrade, it's a Varia is a suit that actually protects you from heat. So it increases your defense, but it actually also protects you from heat. And this is basically what it is. Okay. Crafting kit. By crafting, claw alone produces inferior results. With this kit, you can craft finer, sharper, and deadlier tools. If that's your wish. What? We're gonna be able to craft now? I wonder what can we exactly craft. Can I see the last one? No, they don't show the last one. The map is back and I'm happy about that. What I'm curious to know is like how many, let's see, how many entrances to a place? You got one here, 2, 3, but it doesn't connect to this red area here. The red area has 1, 2, 3. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's one of the things I liked about Hollow Knight. Some of the areas in Hollow Knight, you actually have multiple entrances. That's so good, dude. Like in Metroid, You don't really have that. And Metroid Zero Mission. So in Super Metroid, you do. Super Metroid, you do, and I love it for that. Again, another reason why Super Metroid is just really good. It's just you have multiple ways of getting to places. So I'm glad that Hollow Knight actually, Silksong actually continues this. But then here's the interesting part that I'm seeing is that this entire area can only be accessed. Oh no, take it back. They actually can get access from the top. Oh, that's great, dude. Hell yeah. Cool, 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 cool. No, yeah. I really like the map so far. Yeah, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 areas. So yeah, this area could be accessed through 6 places, which is cool. Lethal acrobatic action. Is that a normal jump? Is that really a normal jump? There it is. There it is. You do have wall run. You have wall run into ledge grab. Right? So you can, yeah, so you can dash in. You'll be sliding like in Hollow Knight normally. You can wall run into it. You can grab the ledge and then vault on. You don't have to. Oh my god! You can do tournament winners in this game. You can actually do a tournament winner. That is crazy. You can actually do a tournament winner. So, again, to people who don't know, tournament winner is a Smash thing, Super Smash Bros, whatever, whichever game is, where when you're trying to come back to the stage, you need to grab onto the edge, right? You grab onto the edge. I mean, when you're trying to get back to the stage, if you grab onto the edge, there's one animation where when you press up, your character kind of like jumps, like vaults over, but like pretty high up, and then you land it. People call that tournament winner because in some games, I think in Melee specifically, if you do that, you're kind of stuck in that animation, and you can easily get punished and lose a stock for that. And so that's why they call tournament winner, which is the act of just vaulting, but instead of just immediately going into the floor here, instead of just landing into the floor, you go up. Right, and you saw that the character animation stuck in forward, and then once it was like around this area, was able to do something about it and move to the right. The tournament winners is kind of like that. It's like in the beginning of the animation, you're actually stuck into that sort of animation that you have to go forward, and then after that, you can do whatever you want, but you get punished between that slight moment. And so basically, this is the tournament winner, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Although I would say, like, I would say that I'm not super a fan of tournament winners where like you just stuck in an animation, because it kind of takes away, makes your character a little bit less. It takes control away a little bit, which I don't really fully like, but I think it's fine. It's not a big deal. Like the amount of time you spend here is not too long. It's just super quick, so it doesn't really matter. We got a grapple. Damn. Jesus, dude. Wait, let me see that again. So, hits here. Attack happens here. Huh. Very interesting. Yeah, we saw the wall run right here. You see? Oh wait, hold on. Yeah. Is that right there? You see that? You see the jump, right? That jump right there. It's normal, right? Normal jump. This is not a normal jump. Yeah. What the hell is this? Another movement option? Also, I feel bad for these little guys. I think those are two babies and the mother. They're getting shit on. Wait. Only the mother got hit. Okay. By the way, enemy design is crazy, dude, too. Or was it? Here. Look at those enemies, dude. They look really cool. Wait, double daggers? What do you call that? Hold on. Look at that. Oh my god, dude. What the hell? This is a really cool design. The dude jumps in the air. I don't know what's gonna do after that, but jumps in the air. This is what I was talking to you guys about. Some enemies, we have enemies in Hollow Knight that go in the air and you gotta deal with them, right? But this is what I was talking about. Like developers might just take it and go like, yeah, if there's more acrobatic combat, if there's more aerial combat, then let's just make the enemies also go for those. And so this enemy probably would have probably jumped in the air to just do a follow up of some kind. And the look at this. The other one here was also like ready to. You see that? Like it went down a little bit. It seems like it was going to jump as well. Now, Hollow Knight has enemies that jump. We have enemies that jump in the past. But usually their attacks is like I jump and then I land. Unless you're flying, then you fly and you stay in the air. There is the knights in the cities where they can just latch onto the wall and then they get out of the wall and start flying. I don't remember if they actually can go from grounded movement to aerial. I think they've never done that, so yeah. But these enemies looked like they were gonna be suspended in the air to do an attack before resuming their fall. Oof, nice uppercut. Nice pogo. Oh. That's a nice 3-piece, chat. That's a nice 3-piece. 3-piece. Could have extended it. Like, pogo here, and then a diagonal hit attack right here. Boom. And then you stay in the air pretty high up, so you can actually go for like 2 swings in the air, probably. But that's a nice 3-piece. That right there is not your normal pogo. That right there, you can see the animation, how she kind of looks like it. Yeah. That's not a normal pogo. That's the other attack, I'm guessing, the diagonal one. Hits. Gets back. Mamma mia. A vast, handcrafted world. It is vast, alright. Looks really good, chat. The design is amazing. Love the parallax, dude. Yeah, freaking love it. There's the flying enemy right here. Whoa! Hello. Speed it up. Damn. Oof, double jump? Dude, the movement options go insane in this game, dude. It goes insane, dude. Here's what I think. Oh, shoot. They really didn't show if they're incorporating a system around charms. It seems to me that maybe, just maybe, I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe maybe we saw this in the past. I gotta look for like old footage, but maybe they might not go the charm route, and they might go the mobility route kind of thing. If you know what I'm talking about, where like you can actually make a build of like your tools to for area movement. You know. Whoa! That's sick, dude. What is that? Okay. Okay. This is like some sort of underwater thing, dude. Right? Did I just saw Harry? No, it was not Perry. Wait. No, it was charging for this attack. Now hold on a second. It's not using any of these. So then, what are these? Because these things look like tools. They could be traps. Hmm. They could also be like sub weapons, right? So you got sub weapons, and then you have like skills, like movement skills, and you have sub weapons. And sub weapons can actually add to your movement, like how she started like spinning around, spinning crazy. That could be a sub weapon that functions, that has a movement option, like has a bit of movement. I can see that. But then this didn't look like a sub weapon, or maybe it is. Like I just don't see it up here. Doesn't look like any of these icons represent this sort of attack. This looks like, because it looks like it was charge. So charge attacks might not be a sub weapon thing. That looks like the main weapon's attack. So this probably is a charge attack, not a sub weapon. Dual boss fight. Seems like they're actually pushing for multi fights here, because these are 3 fights here. We have 3 fights here. We have that duo fight. But these actually, wait, it was saying ferocious battle, ferocious foes. Okay, so these are not boss fights. These are like not like, how do I say this? You know what I mean? Like these are not boss fights. Also, dash. Wow, dude. No, this the movement option. This game go crazy. Okay. So the icons didn't change at all. I'm guessing this might be that attack. I could be wrong, but I definitely saw the silk being spent. Right. So yeah, there was silk here, and it was spent. But I don't know exactly what these things are. I have yet to figure out what the hell they are. Was that a dash? Yeah, it was a dash. Wait, did she start running once the dash was over? Is that a thing? You get movement speed when you after a dash, or is it like Hollow Knight? Because I think Hollow Knight was very subtle, but after moving for a little bit, you started moving a little bit faster. Or I could be wrong. Maybe it was just the beginning of Deathmouth, where after a certain point you kind of start moving faster or something like that. I could be wrong. Strands. You can float? What? That looks cool, dude. You can float. Backflip? Are you kidding me? What in the world, dude? Oh no, people are gonna be able to swag in this game, dude. This game is gonna have the expression. Oh, there's an dual boss fight, as you can see. The ability to express yourself in this game is gonna be wild. With all these movement options. Like, they're really going pretty hard with the movement options in this game. The way I'm seeing it. Like, there's too many movement options. Which is not a bad thing. It just means that you can actually tackle any of these fights however you feel like it. You can build your own style, your own play style. For the headrunners, that only means like it's kind of be a little bit harder to find what's the right path. But at the same time, it just means that there might be the case that there is no right path, and you can just do whatever you want. Eventually, there will be something that is optimal or like the most consistent, but all this just means you can just play the way you want to. Also, this is kind of funny. This is kind of funny. Yeah. That's really good. This battle looks amazing, by the way. Alright, so let's hold on a second. We have shit, that's a dash. That's a dash. But here's the thing though. Here's the dude, what the hell, dude? Yeah, so this is the interesting thing. This dash doesn't look like the other dash. Because the other dash, you went through the enemies. Now you could say that it's the same thing. It's just that for bosses, it doesn't really go through bosses. It wouldn't really make that much sense to me. The other thing I would say is like the animation for this dash doesn't look the same as the other one. The other one, your character was flashing. This one, not the case. But you basically, this is the interesting thing. It hits the enemy, and immediately you go airborne. Immediately you go airborne. So it might be that sort of move where actually you just go airborne on hit, and you can choose whether to go forward or backwards. And I say that because we actually saw Hornet attack an enemy earlier, and instead of going forward, she went backwards, like backflipped it. So maybe it's the same attack, and you can choose which side you want to go airborne. And that's pretty goddamn cool. Now let me pay attention to one thing real quick. Yeah, the one thing that we have sort of ignored for now is the this up here. So 5 health. We're still carrying on the Hollow Knight. health system, as you can see. But then it starts with nothing, so this might be either at the beginning or something. And then we get some silk, I'm guessing is what's gonna be called, or thread, maybe, I don't know. So this is that. 6 masks instead of 5 this time. And then we have these 2 things. Now, this is pretty late into the game the way I'm seeing it, because there's this also thing here, which it might be like reserves. I could be wrong, but this could probably be a reserve. Or maybe this in the bottom might be the reserve. I'm not entirely sure. We have 7 masks and then these 2 items here. And this looks like a dash attack or some sort. Maybe these emblems might not have anything to do except represent what build you're currently carrying on, right? It could just be that. We're only gonna know if we see some action. Same thing here, full thread here on the top. A different one, but this one's the same. Interesting though is you can see this in the border has changed. Which indicates there's another system in it. There's another system within this that we're not entirely sure about. And the only thing I could think of, the way I'm seeing it, the only thing I could think of is this represents your weapon. Because here is like the pointy part of it, and you can see that over here it extended pretty far in. And this definitely looks like, I mean, it seems to me like this is Hornet's weapon. So this might be like I said, a representation of like how much the progress of your weaponry, right? Like the upgrades. That's what I'm talking about. So it could potentially be that. And also we see this sort of part here where it cuts in. I wonder if this is something a little bit different from this, or it just visually looks like that and it's just extending a little bit more. You know, it's like if it's a special like whatever's in there, maybe a special silk or something. Horny going up. Obviously, by the way, I think this just represents the soul. Like if you like in Hollow Knight, you can do abilities. You expend your soul like that. This is the equivalent to that. So I'm fairly certain that's the mechanic that we're having here. And so yeah, you just extend it, make it better, just like in Hollow Knight, where you had more slots to fill in your soul, so you can do more stuff. And you can see we start with a pretty basic what I think is like our weapon, so it's like pretty basic. And this just shows like this is around the beginning of the game. Potentially. We're pretty deep in. And one thing that I noticed right now is that this changed, as you can see, the length of it did not. And so maybe this sort of like, I may take away the whole thing I'm saying about like, it maybe shows like how the progress of like the weapons upgrade. It could just be a change in the weapon itself. Maybe this could represent a build for the weapon. I don't know. Definitely looks like another system on top of the system that we are seeing here. So let's see. And again, this looks pretty different from the previous one. And I don't know exactly what it is. You know what it could also be? The previous one that we saw, where it was fractured, it could also mean like you died, and so it looks like that. And you gotta recuperate it, right? So it could just really mean that. Like this one right here looks fractured. It could just mean that your character just died, and you need to get back your stuff. Similar to like Hollow Knight, where if you die, your vessel, which is where your soul goes, it's broken. And the only way to make it full again or recuperate it is by taking back your body, your shadow. So we might have the same scenario with Hornet there, in that sense, with this thing right here. This looks like an extra. All of them should require, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Oh, this is not required, so you can get a crafting table without using that. But it showed like that was another sort of like resource that you need to get. Obviously, the bench. Heck yeah. Fast forward here. Again, right? Broken, which tells me that probably the person who was playing this game potentially died already against this boss. Okay, see a full here, very extended. And we have two sort of things here, which I don't know what it is, but we also see the mask over here change, which I find it pretty interesting. Let me see something. Yeah, so that's the normal way that the masks look. This one looks a little bit different. It might be some sort of armor, where like if you take a hit, it breaks that one, and then you can resume or something. I don't know. Or as some sort of it could be an armor, or like yeah, it probably is an armor. That's what I'm thinking. Pogo. Up and down. We don't see anything. Oh, change the mask again. Changing this in the background as well. This is crazy, and no icons in the front. So yeah, I don't know what's happening here, but it could possibly be that the system is more like changing how your weapon functions. Maybe there's different type of weapons that do different type of things. You know, like the dashes and the drills and all that stuff that we saw. I could probably be dependent on the type of weapon that we're using. So like Hornet's main weapon actually has different sort of styles or functions, and you can change between those. If that could be the case. And then, you know, sub weapons in the bottom. That makes a lot more sense to me. Now, I saw this has a bit of a drill. I do know a particular scene that has it. We could see if it actually shows there again. We know that using the grapple is expending resources. So there's that as well. But there, look at that. What the hell? Okay, so hold on. There was an enemy here. Okay, so this is interesting. So latches onto this enemy, right? Kills the enemy here. Expends this, but not the thing in the top. Right? Go up, go up. Here as well. And then this. What is this? It used it, right? But we don't know exactly why. What was it about? And then it regained it again after killing the enemy? Uses it again here. And then gets it back. But why not on the first enemy, y'all? That's the thing that I'm a little bit curious about. Another one here has claws. That's interesting. Uppercut. Nothing super crazy here. It's not gonna show any footage of what we want to see. Oh, so here it is. Okay. So yeah, these are sub weapons. This icon right here is the same one that we found when it was trying to buy. It was a trap. So this is a sub weapon. Is the way I'm seeing it. Which is pretty cool. I think we've seen like 3 max sub weapons. Maybe the you could carry here. Or maybe sub weapons are color coded and this is how sub weapons look. And the other thing that we saw was like a skill. But basically this I don't think this shows like maybe the bar shows like the usage, but I'm not entirely sure. Okay. I saw 4 stuff here, so we got a lot to think to see here. So pause. Thing 1 is pretty late into the game already, seeing what is like 9 masks already, but we have what the hell is this, dude? We have like what it looks like 2 sub weapons, maybe a skill attack, and then I don't know what this is on the left side. But the interesting thing is like this is upwards, this is downwards, and I don't really know what to think about it. The one thing I could potentially say is like this signifies aerial ability, and this one signifies grounded ability, because this is basically that, if is what I'm guessing, right? That sub weapon. We got a double jump, launch onto that. Yeah, so this is the weird thing here. So did you know that I was talking to you guys about like the whole thing of it was dash that actually makes you go upwards? Why don't you just casually smack this guy? It wasn't a dash, and it went backwards. I do not get it. I do not get it. But one thing I can tell you guys is like there's a lot. This game is very it feels like it's gonna be aerial heavy. You know, there's things that sends you out in the air, and from there you can play around with stuff. Okay, so this is what I wanted to check. So there's a drill, and bingo, that there it is. So this could mean that the thing in the top here tells you what type of this will signify skills, I'm guessing. It's like you have this one with the drill here, like a screw. It might mean like you will have these types of skills, right? So there'll probably be different types of weapons or different styles of weapons. Is what I'm guessing, and that actually is pretty cool. Actually, it's pretty cool. Now, I'm seeing a lot of room for. I mean, a lot of. How to say this? I'm seeing a lot of options, you know, for combat. That is a drill attack, and I think it has to do with this thing up here. Okay, so we have a very different one this time, and this is a sub weapon. This might be a skill weapon. By the way, let me go back. Okay, so interesting. I actually thought that the skills that you would have would appear here, but no, or at least it's the weapon skills. It doesn't look like that's the case, so I don't really know what are the white circle types. But the drill skill did not show here, so that's something to note about. And yeah, so this is, I don't know what this is. Right. I know they're coded in some way because we saw more than one. I think this is the third one that we see that it looks like this, and what this tells me is it's a sub weapon. These ones in particular, I don't really know what they particularly are. Right. Well, they're sub weapons, support types, or something. This could be a support over here, the one on the left, and that in particular could kind of, the way it looks, it might have something to do with the silk or the thread. So we might have passives up there, You know, these icons just might be things that you actually, this it's just to be able to like see what the character's holding. So yeah, you know, support or passive type of skill, sub weapon, and then maybe an active skill of some sort. What do we got here? Different. Ooh, that's a very interesting. If that's a weapon, that's a very interesting weapon. Oh wait, well, might that be it? Yeah, that could be it, chat. I'm not gonna try to read deep into it, but here's the. I'm not gonna try to read deep into it, but I might read very deep into it. So like the weapon itself, it looks like a little wiggly, right? So it means like there's a bit of like a playstyle is a bit more like how do you say this? Sort of fluidity, I guess. It's like you just weave in and out kind of thing. And the animation that plays out in this aerial moment here, it just looks like it's weaving into it. You see that? And then weaving in and getting out. It's like, and you can see like the way that the attack looks like it's curving in. It just makes you think that it has to do with this up here. So this is a skill from the weapon itself that we're seeing here, is what I'm thinking. Air dash. Dashboard. Now that, in particular, I think it might have something to do with this right here. So the one that we're seeing here that's like this white emblem might be this right here. That consumed skill, right? Yeah. The other one consumed as well. Let me see. Yeah, no, it did not. So I may be wrong this, but my guess might be that weapon skills might not consume anything here. Might not consume silk. And then you have these skills that do consume. And they're like character skills. So weapon skill, character skills, you got sub weapons, you might have supports. One thing I want to see though, because that this right here could actually mean that I'm wrong. Let's figure this out real quick. All right, so let's see. If this drill, oh no, wait, it's not here. My bad. What was the drill again? Oh, here it is. So if this drill doesn't, yeah, this drill didn't consume any, right? Let me see. Yeah. So the drill didn't consume any silk or thread, whatever you want to call it. I'll call it silk for now. It didn't consume any silk, meaning that this is a weapon skill. Right, not a character skill. Let's just say character skill for now. There's a chance that we may have those two things, like weapon skill, character skills. Character skills has like limited slot. Weapon skill depends on the weapon that you're using. And then we got these which are sub weapons. These three in particular, they're pretty interesting because one actually has up arrow, the one has like a downward arrow, and this one is like neutral. So I don't really know if like this is dependent on you being in the air, in the ground, and then no matter where you are, this still works. This is what I'm guessing. Pretty cool nonetheless. These ones are character skills, is what I'm thinking. So again, here, this looks like a character skill, right here, and this looks like a support thing, like passive, active. I mean passive ability. Yeah, that's a weapon skill, I'm guessing. And then right here is the character skill. Different type of weapons, so I'm guessing no drill here. But I don't know exactly what it is because I don't see Hornet fighting, I'm guessing. Oosh. Now here's the interesting thing. I think that this is a character skill, but it's not highlighted. Which makes me wonder, hold on. So highlight it, highlight it, highlight it, highlight it, highlight it, highlight it. Yeah, okay, so that doesn't make any sense. Like, it's highlighted here. Or not highlighted, it's on. Which means you can use it. I thought that it had to do something with the one in the top here. Where like if you don't have anything up here, you can't really use that character skill. Because every single one of them had it except the last one that we saw. And I was like, oh, it might be that this refers to a character skill. And you can only use one, you can only use a skill if you have this, but I might be wrong here. I might be wrong. Pretty cool stuff. You watching. So same one here, but not here. That's the part that confuses me. Oh no. Obviously, no. Wait, what am I thinking? Hold on. No. Hold on. This dash here consumes silk, right? Yeah. Of course. That's why. Yeah. My bad. That's why it doesn't show anything. It's because you don't really have silk to spend on, so it's not gonna show like that. Yeah. Here's one thing I want to figure out real quick here. There was a sub weapon that I think we saw, right? Here it is. So this sub weapon consumes it? No. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. That explains why sub weapons look like you can still use it, whereas the skill, the character skill in particular, was not lit up. Because sub weapons don't consume silk. It adds onto it. That's a skill. That's basically like a weapon skill or a character skill that does consume. But my question is, now that I'm seeing this, is that an optional character skill? Huh. Well, it's not showing here, so. All right. Let's see what else we got. Ooh, now this is very interesting here. Look at this. This is the part that I'm a little bit confused because I don't entirely understand sub weapons completely. This clearly is a sub weapon, and this up arrow is what is, I think, is like signifying like it's signifying like it could be an aerial type of sub weapon. I'm not entirely sure. Either that or the sub weapon actually does things in the air. I mean, it's for like aerial enemies or something. I don't know. The thing is, like half or like a third of it is missing. So this represents the use. And the curious thing for me is like, we've seen a Hornet use sub weapons in the past, and somewhere around here, right? And it did not consume anything. So I'm a little bit confused about that, right? Really am confused about that. On how those sub weapons actually work. Again, here it is, right? So I'm a little bit confused. Like, there is usage of the sub weapon here, but not in that one other instance. So I'm not entirely sure why. Damn, that snap. Running to the right side. Stops here a little bit. Turns around, jump. Restore a kingdom's hope. Oh, interesting. Okay. So this is not the aftermath. This is like a kingdom is actually in problems, and you're here to restore it in some way. Again, we got up, down, and then neutral. I'm not entirely sure what this means. This could, now that I think about it, this could mean not what it does. Because now I'm seeing down arrows on this one. What I think this means is just like which button does what. I think that's what it is. I think what it means is just which button does what. Right? Maybe, I don't know. We'll have to find out when we play the game, because the game is coming in like 2 weeks, so no biggie there. Let's see. Interesting. And then, okay, let's see. Only one sub weapon. Dashes in. Planks it. In the air. Double jump. Dash. It's pretty good, Chess. Pretty good. Well, safe to say that I'm hella excited for it. Looking forward to what's gonna come. And if I can be completely honest, it's not a bad. No, wait. It's not a bad moment to come out in a way for me. Not entirely that bad. Not entirely that bad, dude. All right. So, what should I do? I don't know if I should. I was thinking about stopping stream already. Maybe. Put that back in. Oh my god. Put this in for now while I figure out what I want to do. Man, this is gonna suck a little bit because I really wanted to be over with Devil May Cry before that game came out, but I don't know, man. I can really grind for Devil May Cry and try to get the run, but shoot, wasn't really expecting this, to be honest. I was hoping I could get a little bit more time. But yeah, 2 weeks, man. 2 weeks is a bit too soon for me. Well, I was actually expecting a release on like October or December. I would have been fine with that. Give me time to adjust and get ready. I'm literally not ready for it, but it's fine. It's not a big deal. Just that basically I asked people not to bother me as much when I'm going to do my event, and now I can't really ask people to like not bother me when I'm playing this game. So so what should it be? Halo or Don't Make Cry? Last time I left the stream trying to fix stuff on Halo Reach, so it wouldn't be a bad idea to go back into it. Let's fully finish that and fix it. Um, so sure, let's do that. Oops. Wait. Wait a second. Oh. Why does it look like this? What the hell? There you go. Okay. Okay. We'll do a little bit of this to just chill a little bit, and then make the decision whether to continue to continue or not.
Noble leader, seek immediate medical attention.
Alright, Halo Reach, PoE cannon, inject checkpoint. Alright, we're gonna disable and then force checkpoint. Alright, so last time we were actually working on this, and I found, oh shoot, I didn't meant to do that. I'll do reach, resume. They should put me back there. We should be fine. Good. And we found something, and I want to see if I can fix that, make it better.
Cruiser moving into position. I need it dead.
Oh, that's perfect. I could just do that. Oh my god, dude. I could just go to the left.
Driver won't crack those shields. Steady, Spartan. Lieutenant. Hit her in the gut. You've got the fire now, Spartan. We won't survive another hit.
Me likey, me likey, me likey. It was a little bit weird there. I need to fix it, but...
Cruiser moving into position. I need it dead. Driver won't crack those shields. Steady, Spartan. Lieutenant, hit her in the gut. You've got the fire now, Spartan. We won't survive another hit. Aim for the glassing port.
We got lucky there that the tree's not shooting me.
Cruiser moving into position. I need it dead. driver won't crack those shields. Steady, Spartan. Fire now, Lieutenant. Hit her in the gut.
I like how this works. This works pretty good.
Cruiser moving into position. I need it dead. Yes, driver won't crack those shields. Steady, Spartan. Fire now, Lieutenant. Hit her in the gut.
I like this. I like this. Looks pretty good. Give me a second, chat. All right, chat. I need to go. We did a little bit of practice. It was a pretty good practice, so I am happy with what I found. I just need to like get better at it to know exactly what to do. But this is a perfect. This is close to perfect. I'm actually happy with the strat. We'll see how that goes after a bit more refining. But yeah. If I do decide to come back, I'll probably come back around 4 p.m., 5 p.m. But if not, then I'll see you guys potentially like maybe tomorrow or the next day. I just have to go in a bit of a short notice, so I do apologize. Anyways, have a good rest of your day. And I hope you guys have enjoyed watching.